Welcome to the Lady Gang. You're about to listen to our podcast, but there is so much more our community has to offer. Follow us at the Lady Gang, join our secret Facebook group, shop our clothing line, books, and find out when we're going to be in your city at theladygang.com. We're so excited you're here. Enjoy the show.
It's time for a Quickie.
Podcast One presents The Lady Gang, the Hollywood Girl Posse, with LadyGang Quickie. Here's Kelty Knight, Becca Tobin, and Jack Vanek.
Let's make this quick.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Lady Gang Quickie. I am Becky here with Jack and Kelty, and we have a sexy, sexy, sexy lady joining us today. Kelty, give us her bio.
Well, I'm so excited mostly because the lady of the hour was recently spotted at a party with Paula Abdul, and I need to find out everything about this. So thank God. I mean, this was booked before, but now I'm even more excited to see her. And of course, she's wearing pink. But our guest today is making her second appearance on the podcast because she makes us feel rich and inspires us to keep growing. With a 25-year career in healthcare, this badass woman has built and sold two massive pharmaceutical companies for more than $1.5 billion. That is billion with a B. She created a sexual revolution through various campaigns, and today she's here to help us bring our sexy back to the bedroom and scream for ice cream again. So please welcome to the Lady Gang, Cindy Eckert. Cindy, welcome back.
Welcome. Hey, you know, I was actually going to wear my Lady Gang sweatshirt, but I wear it every day, and it's in such it's embarrassing. Like, it's stained. It's everything. I love it. So I'm happy to be here and happy to see you guys, your beautiful faces.
It's a weird thing, and I'm trying to get myself out of this, that no matter how many beautiful things you have in your closet, when it comes to just being comfy, you will always choose the most beat up. It's like a snuggle blanket or something. What is that?
Oh, I don't know. It's like comfort food. I have my comfort Lady Gang light pink sweatshirt. Thank you.
I was going to say, is it pink? Because
she has the OG.
What do you mean, Jack?
I know. Well, we don't have many pink sweatshirts. So I was like, which one? It was the OG.
Sure. Yes, pink.
I love it.
So
Paula Abdul.
Yeah. Get this out of the way.
Let's just start there.
Come on. I was at Paris Hilton's premiere of her show.
But how did that happen?
Well, Paris and I are friends, and
billionaire friends.
Just this show. This
so
Cooking with Paris is so funny.
It's so good.
Funny. And I walked in to celebrate her because she's crushing it. She's having such a great year, I think, since she really opened up with her documentary, and everybody got to see a little bit of Paris. I mean, that's Paris, right? If you sit down with Paris, you walk to the table, you have tons of assumptions, and then you walk away and you're like, oops, yeah, not really. And I love that about women and how people always underestimate us. So she's characteristically one of them, and she just crushes it in this new show. But Paula Abdul was there to celebrate her too. And of course, I had to fangirl. She's tiny. She's everything that you expect out of Paula Abdul. She's adorable and tiny, and she's high-fiving me for, the women's sexual revolution. It was awesome.
I love a high five.
I mean, come on, a high five.
She has to jump though, because she's so small. She has to jump up to reach. But my thing is Paula was just there because Paula's not on the first season. I watched the entire first season of Cooking with Paris because I was like, oh, I saw Paula with Cindy. I saw it on your Instagram. I was like, I saw Paula, so it must mean that she's on the show. She's not, so maybe season 2.
Well, she's just actually a good friend, and doesn't have to celebrate herself while she's celebrating somebody else.
That's the fun of Paris's parties. She has the most unbelievable friend group, and you're like, oh, and you. So it was good.
And don't get me started on Kathy Hilton as a housewife.
I mean, Kathy's pranks are hilarious.
I am obsessed with her.
Call. I know Paris because of Kathy. Actually, Kathy came to a talk I gave at Sunset Tower, and she walked up to me afterwards and she said, I'd like for you to meet my daughter. And I said, yes, please.
Oh my God.
That sounds good to me.
What if you're like, nah, that's okay.
I'd like to meet your daughter, as it turns out. And that's been a romance ever since. I love Kathy. She's so funny. Her impersonations, her pranks are hilarious.
I love her.
And it's like she's not in on the joke, which is so funny. She's not trying, and she's just so funny.
Yes.
A lot like me.
Well, she's a Pisces. No, she's a Pisces, which is the people that so I know the astrology, blah, blah, blah. You may not believe it, but though Pisces in particular live on another planet. in the best way possible. They're operating, you're looking at them and you're like, where are you living? I want to be there and I can't make it there. Like my brain won't let me get there.
Listen, I celebrated Kathy too. I actually hosted the premiere party at her house for her just to celebrate her joining, and she's having so much fun. And it was so much fun. But I was over there, I don't know, maybe an hour before the party started. And I'm like, Kathy, go get made up. Like, get ready. What's happening? What is happening? People are kind of show up in like 45 minutes.
I love it.
Yeah, she's a trip. I'm a big fan.
So we brought you here today because the last time you were on the podcast, we're going to link to that too, because I want everyone to like go hear the full,
it's so good.
The full episode.
Good
It's one of our most popular episodes of all time. But you have gone out into the world and you you've done. I wanted to ask you this. So we're talking about sexual revolution today. What are 3 findings about the brain and sex that you have found through your trials?
Okay. Here they go. 1, we are all wired to want sex, right? It's survival of the species. And I think that we think men are wired to want sex, but not necessarily women. Nonsense. Biologically, men and women are wired to want sex. Okay. So how do we have sex? We actually shut the brain down. This is interesting. We basically close all the tabs. Right? Just like your computer. Think about how we all work. And I mean, look, I'm looking at a bunch of type A's right here. Like our brain, we're going all Kelty. I'm talking about you. Like our brains are going all the time, right? All the time. And you actually have to be able to close the tabs really to have sex. We're very animalistic in essence when that happens. And I think the third and most important finding is for millions of women, that goes off. So that basically switch gets disrupted. And they're not able to quiet the brain. So these are the women who are lying in bed, doing their to-do list, going through everything for tomorrow. And like literally their partner touches them and they're like, don't even think about it. And what's happening to them is not some kind of mood thing. And it's not some kind of psychological thing. It's biology. And I think that's where the conversation has leaped forward, because for so long, we've basically told women, like, chill out, have a glass of wine, have a bubble bath, just calm down. Then you'll think, and it's like, no, like, this is not how the brain is actually working.
Do you think that it's gotten worse as like technology is like taken over our lives and like you can't escape anything that's going on?
No doubt. I think one is like absolute overload of the information processing center of the brain. And that's really the part of the brain that's controlling sex drive. So that's a piece of it. And then I think it's also probably some other factors, like, you know, nobody has to say it, but of all your listeners, probably a lot of them have been on birth control for a long time, right? We're on it for a long time. What does that do over time to sex drive and things like that? So I think there's a variety of reasons why more and more women are struggling with this issue. But yeah, I think, Jack, you're spot on. I think part of it is just those environmental factors.
And then it's kind of embarrassing because you turn on your Netflix, right? And like Sex Life is on and Bridgerton's on and everyone's humping, And then all the music videos, everyone's humping. And then Doja Cat's like, I feel like in something. And I was like, I have never not related to a lyric more in that song. When she sings that in that song, I'm like, really? I feel like eating an ice cream cake, but live your life, Doja Cat. Like we live in this hypersexualized world. And so when you are not that person that's always in the mood or able to like wrap your head around like having the sex life of your dreams, I think you feel shamed. And I think you feel guilty and you feel like you're a bad wife or a bad lover or, you know, like I don't want to be one of those people that like Chris is off at a barbecue being like, the last time I had sex was the Stone Age. Like I hate that. Like I want him to be like, I'm the most sexually satisfied person I ever met. So there's a lot of shame. And so you created a campaign to sort of like allow people and women to kind of discuss and talk more about their sort of sexual lives.
Yes. Scream for ice cream again. That is it. I thought, listen, it is embarrassing. And while I think, you know, even the LadyGang audience, you guys are great about talking about sex. But so many of us are really embarrassed. We don't want to bring it up. Like we might be able to bring it up through a joke, but we really can't talk about it. Like, honestly, when is the last time you sat down with your girlfriends and actually said, like, how much sex are you having? Because to your point, Kelty, you always feel like you're the only one, right? Like if you're the person not having sex, you're convinced that everyone's having sex, like you're watching on all of those shows and everything else. And yet millions of us are actually dealing with this. So I happen to be on a podcast with a family who's very, like, I'll call it a very G-rated audience. Like a lot of their listeners listen with the kids in the car. And they said, here's the deal. You can't say sex. So every time you want to say, they're talking to me and they're telling me you can't say sex. Every time you want to say sex, say ice cream. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. So I'm starting to be like, is your libido a rocky road? You know, have you lost your appetite? Is your ice cream? Do you want to scream? Like I'm trying to do it. And yet what was incredible to both of us is the response. Our phones blew up. My DMs blew up. My messages blew up. And I thought, oh my gosh, like I've been in this space for so long that I have zero filter. And I realize that for others, it's not that way. So how do we just say, you know, let's talk about ice cream. And by ice cream, of course, I mean sex, but let's just talk about ice cream, right? And how do you want to scream for ice cream again? And how do I give a platform where women can just learn about the issue so that they don't think they're not sitting there embarrassed, ashamed, and not bringing it up because they feel all alone?
Yes. And I will be the first one to tell you that when I went to the site, I did the HSDD quiz and I felt seen and I felt like I have not been screaming for ice cream lately. And I would love to get back into the ice cream maker and eat me a mint chocolate chip. So I'm excited about everything you're doing.
We all have to say which flavor we are, I think, by the end, for sure.
I know. I mean,
you know what's so funny is that Jared's out of all time favorite ice cream flavor is vanilla. Plain. You can have any flavor that you want with all the fillings. I mean, that doesn't translate to the non-ice cream, but it's, you know.
But is he vanilla when you want ice cream? Does he give you a scoop of vanilla?
We've been pushed past vanilla. We're fine.
See, it's working, Cindy. It's working. All right. So what I thought would be fun is if we all kind of chimed in on the things that put us in the mood and our love and like all of those things, because we're just making all of our listeners feel less alone about their, you know, sex drives, whatever they are. And I do want to say in the Facebook group, some girls were like, I can't get enough. Like they are out there.
For sure.
It was a small percentage. Okay. What is a smell that puts you in the mood?
Ooh,
a smell. That's an interesting sense.
Okay. I have a weird one.
Okay.
Old Spice Fiji deodorant.
I wear that.
I don't know what is in that, but I'm here for it.
Because it smells like clean man. You're like, you just got out of the shower.
I know. When Justin puts it on, I'm like, what's going on, baby?
I love that it's called Fiji. Like that has a scent.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're like, I'm on a vacay.
Okay. Becca?
I mean, just anything clean, anything that resembles clean, because I'm not the girl. And I wish I could be the girl who is like, I love it after my man works out and he's so sweaty. No, thank you. That is like the absolute worst. Not that he smells bad, but it's not the thing I want to do. I don't want to climb that tree, you know?
Mm-hmm. Jack?
Mine might be like a nice, like a musky candle, because it makes me feel like I'm at like a really swanky hotel. Then maybe I like went out and got a little drunk and then you're coming back and like that could put me in the mood.
I love the smell of a campfire. I don't know if it's because I grew up in Northern Canada where I'm like the campfire's nighttime and it's like you used to like hide behind the barn and like have a makeout. Like there's something about drinking like Malibu rum around a campfire that really puts me in the mood.
Malibu rum is the choice of drink.
Barf. Okay. What is the song that always puts you in the mood?
Jax is going to be the best for this one.
Well, I have a triple X playlist. That's what it's titled on my Spotify.
Shut the fuck up. Can you send that to us?
Please.
Yeah, I mean, it's a collection because my thing. So I only really listen to music if I'm having sex. If it's at night and we've been out drinking a little bit and I smoked some weed, then it's like I have to have all the things like perfect, like ready to go. But that's when I put on that playlist, and it's all like really like slow, like sensual, sexual jams.
Ride it, my pony.
Exactly.
My
No.
saddle.
Is it emo sexual music?
No, it's a lot of it's like kind of like ambient,
okay.
like because I don't want
Hotel
anything.
music.
I don't want anything too jarring. Like
Yes.
a lot of this stuff.
Well, you
is,
can't
like,
open another
typo,
tab.
Like, no lyrics.
This is
Right.
exactly what
Very-
Cindy's
That's true.
saying. You
That's
can't have
true.
another tab.
No,
Yeah.
because
Close all the
that's right.
tabs.
it literally stresses me out. I'm like, I'm not in the mood now. I got to go to my phone and press the forward button on my playlist because I can't focus. It's a whole thing. But I'll send it to you guys.
Thank you.
I love
Okay.
it.
Chris Stapleton's voice makes me horny. So
Ooh, yes.
I'm going to go with Chris Stapleton because he's Southern and Zach's Southern. Like there's some parallels, you know, it's like a rugged man who likes to drive pickup trucks,
But always clean.
But always clean.
Always clean.
Showers 3 times a day.
It's a real
That's right.
juxtaposition.
Cindy,
I'm going with the XX.
Yes.
You can just put them on.
Yeah, they're on there.
They're
The
on your
XX,
list. I know they are, but I want that list.
Yes. Love that.
tell me something about me. Is it, am I a psychopath? Like sad music turns me on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
feeling so judged. It's
Depending, like what?
I could get down to Taylor Swift Evermore.
No.
Like
Well,
anything
Evermore is
sad.
a little bit better.
Well, either anything sad. No?
Is it like Twilight? You're thinking of being like
I think so. I don't know.
like an
It's
Edward
this-
Cullen kind of
this
thing.
sad music, and then I'm like, it's our last time together. Like, is it in my head? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. See, the whole reason we're doing this podcast is so we can all
feel
have a
less
different,
alone.
feel less alone. So all you sad lovers that are like listening to the head and the heart and like, just
Oh my
being, like, so sad. You're not alone.
You're not alone.
What is a non-sexual thing that turns you on?
Like
Organized,
on a man?
an organized closet.
Oh my God. I love that.
You get
answer.
sexually aroused when you see an
Yeah.
organized closet.
Yeah, when Chris like folds his t-shirts the way he folds them and layers them like all color coordinated, I'm like, God, I love you.
Oh, I have one. I was thinking about it the other day during sex. I woke up in the morning and the alarm goes off and I'm just cranky. And I was like, oh, I have to take Orly to the vet to get a vaccine or some bullshit. It's like, it's an 8:30 appointment. So such a bummer. And Zach just says, I'll take her.
Oh.
Like out of nowhere, just I'll take her. And I got to stay in bed. And that night I was like, yes, I do. I get it now, because my sister will talk about it when her husband does stuff that helps, lighten her load. And since we don't have kids, like we're kind of just on our own islands, doing our own thing, taking care of ourselves. But that thing, I understood it when the moms get horny for the husbands that help out.
Oh, yeah.
I was like in the act being like, I could put out every night if he did something like that every day.
Boom. All right. When we come back, we have Facebook questions for Cindy from our Facebook community.
Hello, you sexy ladies. If you've been living under a rock, we are collecting all of our favorite lady secret stories for a brand new project that we are working on. And this week, we are collecting your stories, your deepest, darkest, secretive stories about dating. Now, this is something that I can relate to because I pretty much almost exclusively have really terrible, cringy dating stories. So if you have like a dating app disaster when you thought that the guy that you're going out with was like 6'5" and gorgeous, and then you get there and he's 5'2", I don't know. If you have lies that you have told to get out of dates before. I have bailed on dates for the dumbest reasons ever, like pretending pretending that my grandma died when she died 15 years ago. Or if you have like first date blunders, or I don't know, accidentally dating your cousin. Somebody out there has had to do that. Write in your stories at theladysecrets.com. It's completely anonymous. You can put in a little alias. We can't track you at all. Or if you're more of a talker, you can call us 1-844-SEXY-LADY. That's 1-844-SXY-LADY. Make these stories juicy. We want the juice.
I am Lola Blanc.
And I'm Megan Elizabeth.
And we're the hosts of Trust Me, the podcast about cults, extreme belief, and the abuse of power.
Now on podcast 1.
We want to debunk the myth that people who join cults are uneducated, because anyone can be manipulated by a narcissist.
And we should know we both have been.
Join us every week as we explore the world of extreme belief,
talk to survivors and experts,
and share our own experiences with cults and the abuse of power. Get new episodes of Trust Me every Wednesday on Podcast 1 and anywhere you get your podcasts.
The Lady Gang.
Okay, we're back. So I posted in our Facebook community, I just put sex drive. Tell me your thoughts. And we got many, many thoughts. And so I just want to have a discussion. They're not all questions, but just like your thoughts, emotions, thoughts. Okay. She said, I need to actively think about sex to at least have some sex drive. It often feels forced and exhausting. Do any of you have this? Why is it that some people are horny 24/7 and I could go weeks without having sex?
It's that switch. I'm telling you, there's something about, and I think when you take that quiz on the site, it talks about basically, have you lost your appetite, right? I'm going to wonder, I'd love to ask her the question, has it changed? Right? Did she used to have it? Is something changed? And it's bothering her, right? So I think that's really it, is that she's not thinking about it. In fact, when women are treated for HSDD, so when you treat this biology, the biological basis, one of the first things they say is, my God, I had a fantasy. Like, I can't remember the last time I had a fantasy. And that's how you know that, again, that balance, that perfect balance you needed went off. And actually, when you get that balance back, your mind is doing what we're wired to do, which is be driven to have sex. So I feel like that she's probably one of the women dealing with HSDD.
Wow. Oh.
We had so many girls in the Facebook group talking about antidepressants stealing their sex drive. They were like, I had one till blah, blah, blah. I had one till blah, blah, blah. Can you discuss like how those work together?
Huge. So it's such an issue. And I would tell you, like, here's a hypothesis for me. Many women who have HSDD go in and describe it and they're put on an antidepressant.
Oh.
Because our old school sort of societal thinking is, you're just freaking
sad.
out. Like, you're just sad. If I make you happier, this will all work out. And it's actually different, right? What's happening in the brain is different for depression versus what this is around sex drive. And so it's important that you can take the treatments for HSDD with antidepressants. That's important to know.
That's
so
good.
You can address both things independently, but it is absolutely true that I think if a woman is sad because of relationship issues and everything else around this issue, she's been for years before there were solutions, she's been put on an antidepressant and it's further killed her sex drive. Because what's happening with antidepressants from a mechanism, I'll geek out on science for a second, on serotonin is an inhibitor. So when you are on an antidepressant, you're further inhibited from sexual cues. That's really what's happening with that, just so you know. So it's stoking your inhibition.
Interesting.
Whoa.
It's literally turning you off.
It is. Absolutely. And actually, when drugs are studied for depression, they actually are required to test women to see how much, men and women, how much they kill their sex drive. Like, so they know, like it's killing your sex drive.
Wow.
Damn.
That's crazy. Next Lady Gang says, I went from being insatiable to literally dreading the thought of having sex. I love my husband. He's insanely attractive and does all the right things, but having children killed my sex drive. Will it ever come back?
This is the story I hear every day, every week. This is the story. And it is, again, this is how you know, right? Mm-hmm. You were once happy and something changed, right? Something has changed and you can't quite figure out why is that? And what I hear from women all the time is exactly what she just said, which is, I love my partner. I love them. I mean, they're so attractive. I wouldn't want to be with anyone else. And yet, like, I'm never into it. In fact, I'm like turned off when they touch me, or I don't want to deal with it. And I don't know, I might've shared this story with you guys when we were on before, but it was in 2019, Rumor Willis and I spoke in San Francisco, and we spoke to this big group of women about this issue. And I got off the stage and this woman came like gunning for me. She was running to come say hi. And she basically said, listen, I was with the divorce lawyers. She's like, I'd lawyered up. My husband had lawyered up. This was the piece of resentment. Like, I just never wanted it. And once you don't want it, all of a sudden we're fighting over everything, right? Yeah. We're fighting over the dishes, the this, the that, like all the little resentments get amplified. And she said, and we decided that was it. Like, he was done. I was done. And she said, I heard you on a podcast. And I thought, wait a minute, what if this is it? Like, my doctor's actually never talked to me about it, but this sounds like me. Yeah. And she went to her doctor. She has HSDD. And she said, can I take a picture with you to show my husband because we're still together?
No way.
And I cried my eyes out. And I think this, this LadyGang member who wrote in, like, this is exactly what she's struggling with. Like, I love my partner. And believe me, like, flip the coin, a partner, we all want to be wanted.
Sure.
Right? All of us in the bedroom have an ego. Like, we want the person we're with to really want us, to think we're the most attractive, most everything. Sure. And if somebody is suffering from this, like, they just don't want it, that partner is taking it very personally.
Yeah.
Very personally. And what's so sad about that is, if we would just be having this discussion, they would know it's actually outside of her control. It's brain chemistry. She can't will it away. So, she deserves to be able to talk about it. And, if she's right, get treatment for it.
And like, how hard, that has to be so hard to try to talk to a partner about too, to try to convey that exact thing where it's like, it has nothing to do with the partner at all, but no matter what, you're going to take blame for, or you're going to feel guilt and have put blame on yourself for that. So that's just so hard to communicate.
It is. It's why I'm so passionate about this conversation being out there, because I think the relief I see on the partner's face is almost greater. They're like, oh my God, they do love me. Oh my God, she is still attracted to me. Aww. And that kind of aha moment is just huge.
I do want to lighten the mood. I have two hilarious comments that I want to read you, Cindy, just because it was so funny. Okay, so there's two. One post, because they're not all bad. This isn't for everyone. This is not us saying like, hey, we just want to have you on because this is so interesting to us. But this woman goes, no, slow down here. I'm 50 and I had to take a break just to write this post.
I love it. That's so great.
And then another woman said, I have zero sex drive because unfortunately my husband is just bad at sex. Vibrator gets it done every time though.
Oh no. That's sad. We got a note. My team got a note a little while ago, and the woman wrote, and she says, it was like, I'm 76 years old. And up until a year ago, I was a real tigress in the bedroom. I was like, dude, we all got around the table and we're like, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you need to study this lady. Like, how do we become her?
On. And she was pissed. She's 76. She wants to have a good sex life. And I love her for that. I think you're right. I'm so glad you said that, Kelty. This is not, again, I think we just need to have this conversation. Sex is on your own damn terms.
Yeah.
Right? There's on your own terms. I just think that if anything has changed for women and they're not happy, they deserve to talk about it. Because let's face it, we've been talking about men and sexual satisfaction for 20 years. I mean, you haven't watched the Super Bowl, turned on, the radio and not heard how wonderful it is to be sexually satisfied. But the subtext of that we weren't even conscious of is if you're a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's about time we talk about it for us too.
Wow.
I agree. And Cindy, I'm so freaking glad you're here. And I just feel like I got wrapped in a big hug of, I did not know that. I mean, I think the last time we were on, I don't know if we talked about that, the antidepressant thing, because I really don't know many friends of mine that aren't on some sort of antidepressant. I mean, I think we all are.
A third of women are on them. Just so you know, a third of all women are on an antidepressant.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy because then you're sad because of the antidepressant and you don't want sex and then your relationship. I do think like what we always talk about when we have people that have been in really super long marriages and stuff, they're like, you have to connect. You have to like stay sexual, you know, you have to be attracted to each other. The men need their eat, like all of that stuff. So it's all connected. Cindy's amazing. We could go on forever, but we cannot because she needs to go run multi-billion-dollar companies and shop.
By the way, Kathy Hilton had me to her house and we had a sex confessional and I wish they had filmed that because we had the most incredible discussion behind closed doors of all women, again, confessing like, this is where I'm really at. Is that where you're at? And again,
oh my God, I love that.
She did that on purpose and got women together to talk about it. So I should give her thanks. And I'm so glad you guys gave me this opportunity to just talk about it.
Well, listen, you're incredible. Follow Cindy at Cindy Pink CEO. I mean, this is an incredible campaign, but you do so much and you're just like the biggest boss lady. Every time I see you, I'm like, oh, what's Cindy? Oh, yep. Changing the world.
Yep. No big deal.
We're going to post the quiz that you're talking about. If people want to take it, it's you can visit Scream for Ice Cream Again. ScreamForIceCreamAgain.com. You can take the sexual desire quiz to learn if you may suffer from hypoactive sexual desire disorder. This is what Cindy's talking about. HSDD. Don't feel scared. It's a very short quiz. I've taken it and head on over screamforicecreamagain.com. I'm excited. Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you
for coming.
Thank you. My team wants to do a campaign that says, if you're not in the mood for Ben or Jerry or Mary, scream for ice cream again.
Oh my God.
Does it work? This is my test case. Your audience will tell me.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
That's great.
I will love it. And we'll link the quiz in our Instagram too. So you guys can go there to check it out because I know everyone will ask. Okay. We love you, Cindy.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. The Lady Gang is produced by Alex Ingber, Steve Delameter, and Jared Monaco. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And if you love it, share it with your friends on social media. Like, oh my God, I just listened to Lady Gang. This episode's so great. Swipe up to listen. And if you really want to, which we know you do, please follow us on social at Kelty, at Becca, at Jack Vanek, and at The Lady Gang. Sign up for our newsletter at theladygang.com and join our secret Facebook group. It's super fun. See you next Tuesday.